Hello and welcome to BeamNG.drive. Today I'm back on my track to run 5 more vehicles. The first is a BX. It is a Diana GTZ Turbo. I already ran a BX. I don't remember if it was before or after the remaster of the vehicle, but it was a donk, so it was a silly version. This is a more serious vehicle. Now, I'm a bit rusty on this track, so hopefully I will do good enough. I'm already at the cylinders, so far so good, okay. Diana, be careful, nice. That was good enough. Now the top speed section, let's see the top speed of this vehicle. 160 probably. Yeah, almost 160, braking, please. Ooh, I was a bit late on the brakes. Some wheel spin on the climb towards the ribbons. Okay, get it under control, please. Nice, the ribbons, no problems. Now here, I want to brake because this isn't a very off-roady car. The suspensions can't handle heavy landings. Now here, the 0G drop. Okay, maybe a bit too much braking there, but oh well. Better too much than too low. And this vehicle likes to spin. The rear wants to overtake a lot on this car. That's not ideal, but anyway. We are already almost at the snake. Now here brake because too much airtime is deadly. Now here be careful because I already saw the brakes are not ideal. In fact now I'm understeering. Why? Okay, a touch of the handbrake. So here is not the best, but it could be worse, especially done by me. Now here, no, don't spin. Oof. That's a deadly 1-2 seconds lost for the final time and towards the finish line. The second vehicle is the AW Aster Yukino Shita Itasha. Yes, I wrote it down because there is no way I would remember this name. Now, this vehicle is kind of difficult to drive, or at least on this track, because it is front wheel drive, so it understeers a lot. It doesn't have performance tires, they are just road tires from what I saw, and that's not helping the cause. Also, the gearbox sometimes changes gear when it's not necessary. Okay, did I do damage to the steering? I'm not sure. Let's continue and let's see if it works. Also, the brakes are terrible. You have to brake a lot earlier if you want to do corners. Also combine it with the understeer, and then you already can understand that a lot of time will be lost. Like here, for example, the top speed was 160. You could manage higher top speeds, but you will fall off the track because the brakes are not finely tuned. Anyway, the ribbons, no problems. Now this jump I don't want airtime because I suspect I already have some suspension damage, so let's not add some more damage to it. The ringed corner is, now this is a tricky one because this car already understeers and it's easy to lose grip and fall off the track. Now the zigzag here can cause a lot of understeer if the trajectory is not the best. Now I slowed down too much, but at least I didn't get upset by the jumps and the bump. Okay, now here, oh, maybe a bit too much. And this part here, it's incredibly tricky for this car because it locks. I lock the brakes and slid off the track. That's not ideal. And now the snake, for such a understeering vehicle, it's not going to be fun. So I have to work with the handbrake, but so far it seems like I'm managing decently enough. That was the lap for the AW Astra. The third vehicle is the Honda City Turbo Amateur Race configuration. Now this vehicle remembers me a lot of the Matiz race configuration that ran on this track and got the first place on the leaderboard. Sadly, I don't think this car will be able to contest the top of the leaderboard, the first position, because it is small and nimble, but it is not as powerful as the Matiz. Also, the tires are not as grippy as the Matiz ones. So overall, I think this is a good vehicle, but I think maybe top 5 it's possible. Let's call it. I want a top 5. I've never finished a lap, so I'm not sure about the time for this car. The top speed 162. It could have been more, but I was a bit early on the brakes, but it's better early than late. Now the ribbons surprisingly caused damage to this car in other tries, so I had to be careful there. Now small airtime, no issues, seems like, through the ringed corner. And now the 0G drop. I have to be careful because the rear of this car gets too light and it loses grip, so I don't want to spin around on this track, because I had to retry the lap. That was a bit too much corner cutting. Okay, good handling of the line, of the jump and the bump. Now here let's be careful because I don't want to be launched off the track like it happened with the AW Astra earlier. Now here it should be good enough because it's small, even if it's front wheel drive, it's still good at cornering, and towards the finish line with a very competitive time. And now it's time for 2 new vehicles to run on my track. The first is the Sunburst track day. I already ran a Sunburst in the first full episode I did, but it was just a city vehicle, so this is a completely different situation from that. And it is incredibly powerful. Okay, that was too much bounciness, but at least I kept it under control. And if I can manage this section that was close, maybe a bit faster, but I didn't want to risk it too much. Now let's see the top speed. 191. Okay, this has become a serious contender for the lead of the leaderboard, because I remember the Matiz being at around 180 km per hour. Now brake, because I don't want airtime. I don't want body panels to be stuck under the vehicle. Okay, now here the 0G could have been better, but at least a good speed on the exit there. Tap on the brakes because I don't want to risk to be falling off the track. Now well handled on the jump, nice, this landing good. Now towards the snake, this corner can be tricky, but it has slick tires, so I trust the performance. Now I was a bit long here, now here decent enough probably. Some understeer, not ideal, the bump, and now full speed towards the finish line. Okay, oh, the time. Whoo! And the last vehicle is probably a vehicle that was under noticed in the last update, the 0.35, and it is the Miramar Safari Rally configuration. This vehicle is an old school rally vehicle, rally car, and even if it isn't the most powerful, it is pretty funny to drive. It's always oversteering, so that's to keep in mind, but on this track there are only few sections that where it will cause issues, and the suspension travel, for example, is very helpful on sections like the corkscrew, but here you have to be careful on the cylinders. Ooh, that was close, almost brushing the last cylinder. And now I'm already at the top section, the top speed section. Let's see. I'm not expecting it to be the fastest of them all. 150, that was good. Now on the climb it suffers because rear wheel drive, rally tires, thin rally tires, and quite a lot of power, and as you can see it struggles. So on the ribbons as well, it is one of the vehicles that had some minor issues on the ribbons. Now here the ringed corner, as you can see, it wants to oversteer even on a banked ringed corner, so that's impressive for this car. Now here, where I want the oversteer, it understeers, which is, of course it is. now here, look at that. It's always on the side even when I don't want it. But let's see the bump. Wow, the suspensions are, look at that, perfect suspensions on this vehicle. I really love it. It looks incredibly cool. This configuration is going to be one of my favorite Miramars, because I already ran a Miramar on this track already, and this is the second time. Okay, now be careful on the snake, because this is the part where the oversteer gets tricky. It can cause easy a spin. Okay, and towards the finish line, ooh, okay, I handled it pretty nice. And now to the leaderboard, because this episode has been full of surprises. The first is that the Sunburst track day configuration has beaten the Matiz race. The Matiz has been dethroned by the Sunburst by more than 3 seconds, because the Sunburst did the lap in 1 minute 47 and 7:29, which is incredible lap time. And then we have the Honda City Turbo in 6th position with 1 minute 58 and 621. And as I was running the Honda City, I was hoping for a top 5, and it was briefly in the top 5 because I hadn't run the Sunburst yet, so that was a very good prevision by me. And then we go a little bit down in position 15 for the Diana GTZ Turbo with 2 minutes 7 seconds and 806. It was, however, slower than the B-Series Donk, which is a surprise for me. I was pretty surprised when I saw the leaderboard. And then we go even lower with the Miramar Safari Rally in position 23 with 2 minutes 11 seconds and 327. And again, it was slower of around 8 seconds compared to the Miramar Street Tuned that ran earlier in the series. And then the last for today's episode is the Astro Yukino Shita Itasha in position 25 with 2 minutes 12 seconds and 093. So overall, this was a pretty fast episode. All the vehicles were decently powered, and it was a satisfying experience. Anyway, that's all for this video. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.